Well, the MAGA world is kind of eating itself, and you absolutely love to see it. Uh, it turns out the one thing Donald Trump's, let's say, fragile ego can't handle more than losing is one of his billionaire bootlickers having an opinion of his own. So this all started when the man himself, our current president, went on a I guess you call it a tirade against Elon Musk. Yeah, the same guy who like helped him reclaim his social media throne. You really have to see the sheer kind of unhinged nature of this post to even believe it. Okay, so get this. This is what he said. He posts, quote, Elon Musk knew long before he so strongly endorsed me for president that I was strongly against the EV mandate. It is ridiculous and was always a major part of my campaign. And he goes on, and this is where it gets really wild. Quote, Elon may get more subsidy than any human being in history by far and without subsidies. Elon would probably have to close up shop and head back home to South Africa. Perhaps we should have Doge take a good hard look at this. End quote. I mean, what a complete moron. So what exactly did Elon even do to trigger this whole presidential complete disaster of a temper tantrum? Okay, so it all comes down to this massive, and I mean like massive spending bill that Trump is championing. Um, Elon Musk, he took one look at it and basically threatened to burn the entire Republican Party to the ground, or at least that's what it sounds like. I mean, his first post was like a direct threat. He threatened to form a third party, which that's just political poison. Let me just read you the post here. He said, quote, if this insane spending bill passes, the America Party will be formed the next day. And then he followed that up with this gem. Quote, our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican uniparty so that the people actually have a voice. End quote. I mean, this character is calling out the entire system that his supposed ally, Trump, is like sitting right at the top of now, right? But it gets even more direct, and I think this is pretty clearly what sent Trump into his rage spiral. So Elon then promised to like personally go after every single Republican who voted for this bill. He said, quote, every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame, and they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth. End quote. Wow. I mean, this is a full-blown declaration of war, isn't it, on the Republican establishment by one of their biggest cheerleaders, no less. So, okay, what's the actual substance here? What's behind all of Elon's whining about this spending bill? Well, his main argument, and he's not entirely wrong about this, is that the U.S. national debt is just completely out of control. He posted this terrifying chart of the debt, and it looks less like a curve and more like a freaking cliff face. Okay, I'm gonna show you the chart, and the text on it just asks, quote, when are they going to flatten this curve? End quote. And to back this up, he's been hammering this point that America is headed for bankruptcy, which that's some potent stuff for his followers. There was this quote from a podcast he did where he kind of lays out the stakes in pretty stark terms. Here's the quote.
America is also going bankrupt extremely quickly. And everyone seems to be sort of whistling past the graveyard on this one. The Defense Department budget is a very big budget, okay? It's $1 trillion a year, DoD, Intel, it's $1 trillion. And interest payments on the national debt just exceeded the Defense Department budget. They're over $1 trillion a year. just in interest and rising. We're adding $1 trillion to our debt, which our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay somehow every 3 months. And then soon it's going to be every 2 months, and then every month. And then the only thing we'll be able to pay is interest. And if this is, it's just it's just like a person at scale that has racked up too much credit card debt, and this does not have a good ending. And so we have to reduce the spend.
It's wild when you stop and think about that. We're spending more money just to borrow money than we are on the entire military. That's the kind of fact that really ought to make everyone, left or right, just stop and say, what in the hell are we doing? But of course, that kind of thinking, it doesn't seem to apply to our dear leader. So, okay, while Elon is over here screaming about fiscal cliffs and trillion-dollar interest payments, what is his former best buddy Donald Trump saying about this very same bill? Well, in the mind of this very power-hungry figure, this isn't a debt bill at all. No, it's a gift from the heavens, I guess. Get this. This is what he's actually telling his followers to try and get this thing passed. Quote, Republicans, the one big beautiful bill, perhaps the greatest and most important of its kind in history, gives the largest tax cuts and border security ever, jobs by the millions, military, vets increases, and so much more. And then comes the classic Trump move, right? The fear mongering and just the outright lie. Quote, the failure to pass means a whopping 68% tax increase, the largest in history. End quote. I mean, that is some next level gaslighting from a professional grifter, isn't it? He's trying to sell a spending blowout as a tax cut. It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, Musk is posting charts that show the actual numbers behind this whole debate. He reposted this simple infographic that lays out exactly why we have this massive deficit in the first place. Okay, here's the post. The text says, quote, we need to, at the very least, get to a point where we are breaking even. Having such a massive deficit is unsustainable. End quote. And the chart, the chart then shows the brutal reality, federal revenue of like $4.47 trillion and federal spending of $6.16 trillion. I mean, it's not that complicated, right? So that massive gap, right, between what the government takes in and what it spends, that seems to be the entire reason for Elon's whole crusade here. And it's what leads him to ask a question that, frankly, a lot of us have been wondering about for like years. Here's what he said, quote, what's the point of a debt ceiling if we keep raising it? End quote. And then this hypocrite follows up with his supposed reason, saying, quote, hitting the debt ceiling is the only thing that will actually force the government to cut waste and fraud. That's why the debt ceiling legislation exists, end quote. And to prove he's serious, it seems like he's not just, tweeting into the void. He's actively backing political candidates who align with this pretty extremist view. He publicly endorsed a donation to Representative Thomas Massie, who is one of the biggest anti-spending hardliners in Washington. I mean, look at this. Some guy posts a thank you letter for his donation to Massie and asks, who's next? And right there, plain as day, Elon Musk himself replies with just one word, me, one word. That's not just a tweet, is it? That's a direct threat to the party establishment. It's like a promise to fund their political enemies. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. You can sort of see the cracks forming in the Republican Party in like real time. Because get this, not everyone is lining up to kiss Trump's ring on this. Some are actually siding with the billionaire troll. You have Senator Tom Tillis, a sitting Republican senator, who came right out and basically started, well, bootlicking for Elon. I mean, get a load of this move. And what's interesting here is that Tillis, he isn't running for re-election. So he has a little bit more freedom, I guess, to speak his mind without, fearing the wrath of Trump or his base. So he reposted Elon and said, quote, "Folks, at Elon Musk is 100% right, and he understands this issue better than anyone. We should take his warnings seriously." End quote. And to be fair, he's putting his vote where his mouth is. He's confirming he'll also be voting against this bill, which means he's siding with Musk against his own party's president. Wild, right? So, yeah, this is the insane civil war we're watching unfold in the Republican Party right now. It is a complete and utter calamity, it seems, caused by the fragile egos of two of the biggest narcissists on planet Earth. So, like, on one hand, you've got President Donald Trump, the grifter in chief, and he's out there trying to sell this mountain of new debt as the greatest bill in history. But then, on the other hand, there's his former puppet, I guess, Elon Musk, who is threatening to primary anyone who dares to vote for it. Ultimately, I mean, this isn't some noble crusade, is it? It's just a grotesque battle between two sociopaths fighting for control of a political party. And it's forcing retiring senators to, like, pick a side on their way out the door with, the rest of the country just caught in the crossfire. All right. I guess that's all for this one. What a complete and utter mess. It's a battle of the billionaire egos, and as usual, we're the ones who are going to get burned, aren't we? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Who are you siding with in this ridiculous feud between the Orange Clown and the apartheid Rocket Boy? Is this like the beginning of the end for the GOP as we know it? And hey, if you haven't already, for the love of God, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next time these morons try to light the country on fire. And if you're still feeling angry, and you should be, check out this other video right here. Stay angry.